Good morning, friends! Despite the summer heat, these graceful surprise lilies have sprung up, bringing great beauty to our backyard. It is nearing the end of summer, and I have a few projects I want to wrap up, and I thought I would take you along. Our day will begin, as usual, in the kitchen. Several of my copper pieces have been put to good use over and over, and they need a good polish. The tea kettle, the pot, and this colander are definitely in line, but this pot here that hangs is just decorative, and I love the mellow amber patina. This pot lives on the stove, and as you can see, water spots and grease splatters have left their mark. I found this pot at a thrift store for $1.50, and it was the first piece of copper I ever purchased. Along with polishing the copper, I also have some random items that have gathered on the countertop, a butter dish that needs cleaning and replenishing, baking items to store away, and dirty dishes to wash. Another fun project will be processing the peaches that we've grown. On our 10th anniversary, we bought a peach tree, and now, 2 years later, we have our first harvest. Oh yes, and we had a plumbing repair over the weekend. Okay, we have our work laid out before us. Let's get started. My first step is to clear and clean the counters. The tasks we have so far in the kitchen today are rather simple, although it may take a while to polish the copper. But I want to encourage you when you're looking at a task that seems big, or it's one you really don't like to do. Some people I know really don't like to vacuum, or they detest ironing or putting away the laundry. But I have found there are some easy little tricks that you can do to make these jobs go more quickly. Just imagine, and it may not be that difficult to imagine, that you have a mountain of laundry in front of you, and you really don't want to do it. Here is one of the games I play when faced with a huge mountain of laundry or dishes. The very first thing is to take a deep breath, turn on your determination, and decide you're going to do this well, and you're going to do it as fast as you can. For laundry, put away the largest things first. If you fold and put away the towels and, say, your husband's jeans, just those large 6 or 8 pieces could be half of the laundry already done. The next suggestion would be is to handle each piece only once. Being efficient with your movements will also make your job go more quickly. And my third suggestion, which is probably the most fun, is to make it competitive, make it a game. I usually try to race something. For example, if I have started the rice cooker, I know I have 20 minutes until it's done. And my goal is to have dinner made and the majority of the dishes cleaned up and loaded in the dishwasher before the rice is finished. You've heard the saying that starting is the hardest part of a project, and I have found that to be true. Often, starting is what holds me back. Remember that plumbing repair I mentioned earlier? Well, the sink in our master bathroom has very slowly stopped draining. We've tried all manner of running snakes and pouring down chemicals, and it finally clogged up completely. Humorous side note here. I had no idea that my camera started to slip while I was doing the dishes. So, the plumbing repair. It was a job we both dreaded. It would include ripping up the carpet, removing paneling, pulling off trim, jackhammering concrete, and tunneling underneath, all in an effort not to bust up the tile that we laid. There goes the camera! Anyway, can you see why you would put off a plumbing project like that? The longer we put it off, the more it began to affect other projects and goals. Now, I knew that we had a guest coming to stay overnight for several days, followed by a visit from Matt's mom. These would be the perfect motivating deadline for us to tackle this awful plumbing repair. I'm happy to say this strategy has worked. The plumbing repair is finished, the paneling is back on, the carpet is laid, we have a little bit of touch-up paint left to do, and a couple days until our guest arrives. Was the plumbing repair an enjoyable project? No, not at all. And we would much rather have spent those dollars on decorating or doing something else on our house. There have been some wonderful side benefits of tackling this plumbing issue. Not only is our sink working now in the master bathroom, but we have a freshly repainted wall in the guest bedroom, and this has caused a ripple effect. I'm going to be hanging a new gallery wall and tackling some more decor for the bed. Now, while we've been talking about tackling your chores, I've been trying a new method for polishing my copper. I'm using Barkeeper's Friend, which I've never used before, but it was highly recommended. And as you can see, I've discovered if you make a paste out of the powder, there is minimal scrubbing. I cannot believe how much easier this is than the way I used to do it. These 4 pieces would have taken me probably 2.5 hours, and I did all of them in 45 minutes, even with setting up my sliding camera. When Matt spotted the copper sauce pot on the stove, his comment was, "Is that the same pot?" One of the lovely things about copper is that you can choose the level of patina you prefer. If you like the bright pinky rose gold, then you can polish your copper often. If the mellow, darker amber colors appeal to you, then simply polish less often. Either way, copper is a gorgeous addition to your kitchen and adds that old world touch. I know you're wondering what the 4th piece is, since you only saw me polish 3. These 3 turned out so well, and they went so quickly that I decided to polish my copper tray as well. The transformation was amazing, and it looks like there's a light on in this corner of the kitchen. I just love it. Now for the next project. A friend of mine was out thrifting and she spotted these silhouettes and thought of me. I've hung on to them for quite a while, and the idea that I had for these was to paint the frames black. If you were here a few visits ago, you will remember the handmade macrame plant hanger that was a gift from another friend. I hung that plant hanger in our hall bath with an English ivy and mentioned that I wanted to rework the gallery wall. Today is the day. The large sketch in the center of this collection, Matt and I came across in a flea market when we were on our anniversary trip this spring. Using pieces in your home that have special memories attached is one of those things that makes a house a home. If you've been around for any length of time at all, you can recognize my pattern for hanging art. My favorite collections are always eclectic. The frames don't match, the sizes are always different, but there is something in the theme or the color scheme that will tie it all together. I generally place the largest focal piece in the center and build out from there using some sort of symmetry. For this collection, as you can see, what ties it together is the color black. And I would also say kind of an ecru parchment color as well. Everything is either a sketch, there is a piece of lace, or these beautiful silhouettes. Every piece has a vintage vibe, which goes really well with our bathroom. I also love using a different shape when hanging a gallery wall. This helps to give interest. All done. Let's take a look at how this turned out. To me, it kind of draws you in. It's a little bit hidden, it's a little bit around the corner, but what an interesting flair this vintage collection adds to the hall bath. And I especially love the fact that there are good memories with it. The etching of these Victorian-looking ball gowns on these beautiful ladies makes me think of my older sister who likes that kind of thing. Of course, the sketch makes me think of our anniversary trip. And these silhouettes make me think of my friend who has moved far away. And the plant holder makes me think of another friend who's right around the corner. At some point, and probably it is next to the last thing on the list for this home, we will renovate this bathroom. I do want to keep a vintage feeling, but until then, it is always a good idea to do the best you can with what you have. Early this spring, the peach tree we bought for our 10th anniversary budded out with so many blossoms. We saw a few happy pollinators buzzing about, so we have watched and waited and hoped. And sure enough, we got a good amount of peaches for our first crop. The peaches ripened very quickly, and it was past 11 o'clock last night when we finally finished processing the peaches and cleaned the kitchen. So unfortunately, I don't have footage to share of the process. But here in the laundry room, we have the dehydrator going, making peach leather with some of the extra puree. Look at that beautiful color. So we managed to make 3 jars of peach jelly. Absolutely delicious. It has a sweet and slightly tangy flavor. Friend, I hope you're soaking up your summer. And until next time, take care.